Hey, what's up? This is Brandon Simmons for BrandonSimmons.biz, and this is my weekly NFL column called Black Quarterback. And it's pretty much my column where I'm just talking about all the ins and outs of the league and giving my thoughts on them. So, giving my thoughts on playoff picks, particularly for the conference championships this weekend. So, let me not waste y'all time no more with bad introductions. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. So, the first game that I got coming up for y'all is the Philadelphia Eagles versus the San Francisco 49ers. Now the Eagles are coming off a dominant performance of the New York Giants, 38 to 7, in which they shut them out throughout the entire first half. Giants didn't even get a score until middle of the third quarter. Part of the reason that the Eagles were able to do that is the defense. That pass rush brought about 5 sacks. I believe it was Hassan Reddick and Josh Sweat shared 1.5 sacks apiece. But yeah, that was pretty much one of the main factors in them getting in the Giants getting that job done. Jalen Hurts didn't even have to do nothing. To be honest with you, he was pretty much had a pedestrian night, 154 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. I He probably didn't even have to run. He probably ran to the water cooler, but that's about it, or to the heater, considering the temperature in that game. But yeah, completely dominant beatdown by the Philadelphia Eagles in that game. San Francisco 49ers, not so much. They're coming off a close, tough defensive struggle with the Dallas Cowboys. 19 to 12 was the final score. And so, yeah, the main star in that game pretty much was their defense, specifically 49ers linebacker Fred Warner. I've been watching Fred Warner clips like all week on these different sports shows. And you know what I'm saying? He really did. He just really showed out in that game. He had a couple of big hits. Definitely, I've seen the clips of him running with CD Lamb and on different plays and just other wide receivers as well. But I've also, seen the interception that he made off that tipped pass. So, yeah, Fred Warner definitely had his fingerprints all over that game. Um, but it wasn't just defense for the 49ers, it was also their offense. It surprisingly led by their rookie, Brock Purdy, who has not lost a start, including a regular season, since he took the job over. One of the big plays in that game was the little boppity boop catch that tight end George Kittle had made on in the third quarter, and that set up a touchdown for them to, keep their lead going, to break the tie actually. So yeah, all around good game, for the 49ers, and kudos to them for pulling that out in that type of, defensive fight. So with that being said, it was tough, but I think I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles in this game. And so, obviously, I got a couple reasons why for you. So, number one, the Eagles have multiple ways to attack that Niners defense. So, with their running game, it's Miles Sanders, it's Boston Scott, it's Jalen Hurts. With their passing game, it's AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, Dallas Goddard, Jalen Hurts. You know what I'm saying? As I mentioned, in the previous week, Hurts has, made a ton of improvements as far as like, throwing the football. So I definitely think that helps that, with the acquisition of AJ Brown. Also doesn't hurt that they have a speedy guy like Devontae Smith and another speedy guy in Quez Watkins. So with that trio, I think you can really just kind of you can really tear some secondaries up with that group of receivers. Not to mention Dallas Goddard. So that we all know about Jalen Hurts coming off an injury and him being fully healthy. But Dallas Goddard suffered a shoulder injury. I think late November, if I'm not mistaken, and he was kind of out for a while, and he came back, I believe, right before the Cowboys game. So you know what I'm saying? It kind of took him a couple weeks to get his groove. Looked like he really found his groove with the in the Giants game, and what I'm saying, it probably helped that they had the first round bye, so he don't have to exert too much too much more energy while recovering from that injury at all. Um, so yeah, it's just multiple ways that they can attack this defense. And you know, with that pass rush of the 49ers, it's a deadly pass rush, but against those receivers that can like kind of make those quick routes and allow Jalen Hurts to get into some quick throws. Saying those guys can, kind of catch the ball, and they're capable of catching the ball and just making a big run after the catch. So um, that's one way of kind of attacking that pass rush or just that front seven overall. And also they they can go deep. Obviously, the receivers have deep threats, but also the running backs, they are pretty. It's a pretty solid running game. So Boston Scott's there. Gainwell, he's there. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's just different ways that uh, it's just different ways that they can just kind of attack. Like, hell, I'm looking at it now. Gainwell had 112 in his last game. Sanders had 90 rushing in his last game. So, you know what I'm saying? They're capable of actually, just really kind of controlling the clock if they need be and just wearing the defense down as well. So, that's one big advantage for them. Two, that pass rush is going to be relentless. As I mentioned, also last week, what I'm saying, this Eagles defense had four players that have recorded double digit sacks, which is, what I'm saying, a record or whatever. And so they're gonna yeah, they're definitely gonna be in there getting after that quarterback. Brock Purdy, he's a rookie. He went from Mr. Irrelevant to Mr. Relevant. And I'm pretty sure that they're tired of hearing about that at this point. You know what I'm saying? He's deserved it, but at the same time, he's still a rookie. And so he hasn't hit his rookie wall yet or whatever. But um I think they're definitely gonna focus on like trying to actually keep him. They're gonna try and flush him out the pocket and see and challenge him to scramble. He hasn't done too much scrambling or whatever, um, but because he's proven that he can kind of stand in that pocket and just really let the ball go and just get it to whoever he needs to get it to. But I believe that the Eagles are really going to test that out and just they might even blitz him a little bit more times. And so if they do, Sign Reddick, he's definitely going to be on one of those blitzes, and he's pretty athletic. He's athletic enough to actually like come from his level and just come from the linebacker level and just actually charge in there and try to take the quarterback down. And another thing about the Niners, Purdy's been good, but in the last three games, including in the regular season, he's been sacked like seven times. So seven sacks, sacked seven times in three games. You know what I'm saying? That's a little bit leaky right there. So they're definitely going to come after him and bring. They're definitely going to come after him, bring their all, as far as like getting him on the ground. So yeah, Eagles expect them to pick that win up against the San Francisco 49ers. Mm. So my the next game, this might be a doozy. um, Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Cincinnati Bengals, and this game is going to be crazy. This might be similar to the Buffalo game that the Chiefs had last season in the divisional round. So with the Kansas City Chiefs, they pulled off the win last week despite the Patrick Mahomes injury. So everybody knows Mahomes suffered a high ankle sprain in the game early on in the first half, um, and it looked dim, to probably a lot of people, but yeah, a lot of people except the Chiefs fans, they know like y'all are crazy. This is Patrick Mahomes, you know what I'm saying? And so it kind of looked crazy for him, especially him leaving the game and having to back up Chad Henne coming in. But Henne actually pulled off a touchdown drive, 98 yards, while Mahomes was out. And so that kind of kept things going for the Chiefs. Mahomes came back in, and it didn't seem like he missed a step. No pun intended or whatever. But they had the Eric Bieniemy, Andy Reid put together a good game plan to really just kind of protect Mahomes from re-aggravating that ankle injury. They kept taping it up, you know, just to protect it as much as they could. But you know what I'm saying? They caught a lot of quicker throws, a little bit more runs, and that were effective because you know the Chiefs, their run game, it's here and it's there. You know what I'm saying? So they're still trying to figure that out. Looks like they kind of coming along with it, but they did all of that just to make sure that he didn't hold on to the ball too long, which would force him to like scramble and put him at risk of um, damaging that ankle even further. Uh, a cool little tidbit about this: Mahomes actually suffered a high ankle sprain in 2019, and the next week, instead of missing, he actually played in the game. It was against the Raiders. He put up 443 yards, so he's he's kind of used to this a little bit. So it remains to be seen. So far, he's done like um, Thursday. He's practiced Wednesday and Thursday, fully practiced actually. So we'll see how his body actually responds to this. The Cincinnati Bengals, man, they're coming into this game just. It's been a good story for them. Like, so they it's a lot to say about the Bengals, to be honest with you. A lot of positive things. They dominated the Buffalo Bills in their divisional round game. And it was shocking because, you know, Buffalo was supposed to, you know what I'm saying? People thought Buffalo was going to be on this emotional high. DeMar Hamlin was at the game. The last game that the Bills played against the Bengals, it got canceled because of the Hamlin injury. So you figured they would want to prove that they can actually beat the Cincinnati team, but that really wasn't the case. um, it really wasn't in this instance, and it was more so the other way around. Cincinnati wanted to prove that they was really going to beat that Buffalo team that night. So they proceeded to do that and show us very demonstratively. Jamar Chase, Bengals wide receiver, he had touchdowns in both the playoff games this postseason that he's played. So you know what I'm saying. He's having a pretty good little run right now. Um, as these both of these teams actually played a little bit over a month ago. So the first matchup, so Bengals they won the first matchup back in December, and in the midst of that, the go-ahead touchdown was thrown with under 9 minutes left in the game, and so that means the score was 27-24, the final score, uh, 27-24. It got to that score with under 9 minutes left, and the Kansas City Chiefs could not score a point for whatever reason with not under 9 minutes left in the let's say nearly 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So that was that was a little weird finding that out. So, but with that being said, I think I'm gonna have to go ahead and go with the Cincinnati Bengals in this game. It's a couple of things again. So, um, you know, Cincy, they're a young team, young, explosive offensive team. They're also on the road against the Chiefs right now. The last three games, they've beaten the Chiefs, including last year's AFC Championship, where they had to beat the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl. Uh, you know, we just talked about the game back in December. You know what I'm saying? And so, in addition to that, you know, the Bengals they feel slighted that the NFL will sell 50,000 tickets to a neutral site game that you know didn't even mention or bother to mention you know the Bengals, who is a premier team that's has a shot at that had a shot at actually being in this AFC Championship, and they've proven that they are worthy of that shot just by being in this AFC Championship. So they're a little hyped up and a little ticked off about that. So they want to. They already knocked off one of the participants of the neutral site game. They're motivated to go knock out the other one and just tell the whole league that we told you so. So definitely they're on a roll against this Kansas City team right now. Um, Also, they reportedly one of the players that reportedly or some of the players are reportedly calling Arrowhead Burrowhead because of Joe Burrow's recent success in Arrowhead Stadium and against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. So that's they just really really feeling themselves right now. The offense is a complete offense. The Bengals offense, complete offense, up to down, front to back, whatever. They can get things done in the air or on the ground, and they don't have to get into a shootout. And so, what I mean by not having to get into the shootout, I'm speaking solely to their running backs and their ability to actually like provide stability as far as like managing the clock and everything. So, if the Bengals can get out there and get those running backs to wear down that Kansas City defense, that'll damn near guarantee him a win. To be honest with you, um, and so if they can wear him down, they don't have to get into a shootout with this team. They can try to force this team to play a little bit of a, I would say, a physical type game. Um, maybe probably maybe they would force them to like kind of just play the run a little bit more, if you will. But um, that doesn't necessarily mean that they have to get into a shootout. Now, can Cincinnati get into a shootout with the Kansas City Chiefs? Yes, and vice versa. But it doesn't mean that, what I'm saying, they have to. They can play a physical game in the trenches and, a real power run or whatever. And, what I'm saying, just kind of chew up clock until they get to the end zone. So, um, also, final thing of why Bengals might win is, to me, I feel like there's too much mystery surrounding the Patrick Mahomes injury. So it's like he has the high ankle sprain. A lot of people didn't seem like it was, really guaranteed that he's gonna play um, in the next game or whatever. It was a couple people chiming in, a couple of athletes. One didn't catch his name, but he was like, "Yeah, I had one of those in the end of my streak of 120 straight starts." So, what I'm saying? When they first heard he had this injury, it wasn't really looking up for him. And it's not to be a hater, it's just that, what I'm saying, they just didn't feel like, you know, he probably wasn't going to heal from this anytime soon. So, but yeah, it's just too much mystery surrounding that Mahomes injury, in my opinion. Um, you don't know if this is gonna, what I'm saying, you don't know how this really gonna affect him, his mobility and all this other stuff. He looked all right, what I'm saying, he looked good last week against the Jaguars. Just throwing from the pocket. If it was a play that was a little bit longer or whatever, had to take a little bit more time to develop, he still looked good throwing from there outside from the injury. Um, but you know what I'm saying. But at the same time, it's like uh, if he doesn't really, if he's not moving around too much, which is is part of his game, but if he's not moving around to make plays in the event that the defense is kind of like covering receivers up and not letting them get to their routes easily, then it's likely going to be a problem for him. So hopefully, what I'm saying, hopefully he gets better. But until then, I'm rolling with the Bengals on this one. So uh going back over my winners, I'm picking Philly to win. They have multiple ways to attack that Niners defense. The pass rush is going to be crucial. Brock Purdy has been sacked 7 times in the last 3 games, so that Eagles defensive line is going to be feasting on him. The Bengals, so picking them to beat Cincinnati. Um, Cincinnati is just, excuse me, yeah, Bengals picking them to beat Kansas City. Uh, you know what I'm saying? Cincinnati is just on a roll right now against the Chiefs, winning their last 3, beating them just as recent as a month ago. The offense is for the Bengals is complete. They have some good defensive players over there. Jesse Bates, Von Bell, but the offense is just magnificent. You know what I'm saying? So um, they can get it done in the air or on the ground, and they don't have to get into no real shootout with anybody. Um, Last but not least, it's just too much mystery sounding. It's Patrick Mahomes' ankle sprain. Um, it's just you don't know if you should believe that he's really going to be back and competing at a high level, or is he going to be like, kind of percentage wise, only ready percentage wise and or whatever. So um, if yeah, so it, it's gonna be real tough. Just seeing like how he really feels, and only he knows how he feels. But if they feel like he's not really just giving them their all, they're probably gonna take him out, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did. So hopefully he's feeling better. If he's saying he's feeling better, so um, yeah. So that's all I got for y'all this week. I'm Brandon Simmons for BrandonSimmons.biz. Holla black.